everyone, welcome back to Win Philly, where I am Nakisha Hodge. I'm the owner of Hodge Studios, and I'm here with my beautiful co-host, Dr. Heather.
Hey, I'm Dr. Heather, better known as Sex Dr. Heather on social media.
Hey.
We're here at Hodge Studios.
And?
I always look at her because she is so modest in talking about what she does and where she is. For all of the newcomers, thank you for being here. And the people who have been here with us the whole entire year of 2019,
yes.
2020. So this is a new episode in 2020 Vision.
It's the start of our decade.
And Nakisha has some good news to share with y'all.
Oh, guess what, guys? Hodge Studios now has another studio willing to serve all of you for your photography and portrait needs.
Yes, honey. I love that.
Yes, we are expanding.
Woohoo! So I'm definitely so I saw her other space is great. It's wonderful. I can't wait for us to start filming in there, doing Win Philly. So we do Women in Networking Philly, which is a show that Nakisha came up with around just having chit chat with entrepreneurs. We're entrepreneurs, giving the ins and outs of being an entrepreneur, and just talking to other entrepreneurs, about how things are working and how to stay in business, because that's what we're in the business of, staying in business. Right?
Exactly. And I mean, as an entrepreneur, we feel like we have zero time to do what you want to do with your friends, with your family, with your children, because you're constantly working, especially when you have another job and you're being an entrepreneur.
Yes.
So you're just always working. Like, when do you sleep?
So I get my sleep. All right. I don't play around. So I used to be in this position where Nakisha is, being an entrepreneur and trying to work for corporate America, right? So I'm a business owner, and that is it. I own my own practice, and that is it. And it's been that way for a year, and I absolutely would not have it another way. I don't think I could go work for anyone ever.
Yeah.
I consult, I see clients, I speak, I have speaking engagements. I love it. I do stuff like this, video cast. So it is busy in a busy schedule, but I make sure self-care for me is something that we're going to be talking about today, is sleep. Sleep is like my home girl.
You and your home girl, y'all just hang out for 5 or 6 hours.
I'll be like, home girl, I need you for about 8 to 10. I ain't talking about
you
no 5
get
or 6,
8 to 10?
8 to 10 over here. Okay?
I ain't had 8 to 10 in years, since 20 years ago, since I had my first baby. No.
I know. So, Dr. Heather don't have no kids either, right?
Dr. Heather is so lucky that way.
Yeah, and I go to sleep. I go to bed. So, I do log off. I do a lot of work in the morning, and I see clients throughout the day, right? So back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
It's so funny. One of my clients asked me the other day, she saw the person, so she was leaving out, and when she was coming in, she saw somebody leaving out. And then when she was leaving out, she saw somebody coming in. So she looked, and she said to me, do you get a break? I mean, how do you go to the restroom? It was so cute. I said, well, thank you for caring about me,
That's so
But
nice.
I do what I gotta do.
Yeah.
And that's part of the self-care piece, because if I do have to go to the restroom, I'm like, excuse me, I gotta go. So, you just gotta, you have to have your, you gotta have your boundaries and everything in place as an entrepreneur, but you also have to have them in place with yourself as far as self-care.
Well, I think last year was your first year of business, and we're going to delve into that. Not your first year of business, your first year of business as
completely
solo entrepreneur.
Solo, yeah, because I've been in business for 4 years, but I worked for I worked for corporate America 3 of those years. While I was trying to maintain a business, which was really difficult. That's where you are right now.
Yeah, it's very difficult, but I love it. I love it.
I know.
So today's topic, guys, today we are going to talk about, what self-care looks like and what we have planned for 2020. I'm going to share a little bit with you about my plans. Dr. Heather is going to share a little bit with you about her plans, and in hopes that, putting that information out there will keep us accountable to what we
Yes.
say we're gonna do. Because
Yes.
I mean, if we say it, we gotta do it, right? Because we're doers.
We are doers.
We're doers.
Yes, and that's important for you to know what kind of person you are. Know your personality, people.
Mhm.
Because if you don't, go online, take a personality test, figure it out. Because if you don't know your own personality, how do you expect others to get to know you? How do you expect you to get along with other personality types?
Mhm.
So that's important.
That is important. And you know what? I think a lot of people have these personality tests available to you for free. I've
They do.
taken them
They're
with
free.
my corporations, but you can absolutely do it on your own. And it's good to really kind of get to understand yourself a little bit more and how you relate to others. So great idea.
Yeah, and to know if self-care is your thing. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
maybe it ain't. You know.
Maybe you're not there yet.
Yeah.
But you'll find out soon enough how important it is.
Yes, and
So-
you know, I like how. So, what's one of your goals?
So for 2020, you know, I just opened a new studio as of January 1. And as you know, Hodgepodge Studios came into existence January 1 of 2019.
Yes.
So my goal is to grow both studios, you know, in a manner in which you know, I'm giving it a little bit more of attention because honestly, for the first year, it had a lot of growth, but it was unintentional growth. It was, you know, me renting out the space and really opening Hodgepodge Studios as a home to other artists. And I love that, but I feel like, and you know, whenever you're an entrepreneur and you're working, there's always, you know, that opportunity cost. You're always lacking on something else that you want to do because you're one person, you can't do everything. So I think that this year I want to really grow in the area of my own personal photography. You know,
That's a good goal. I like that. I like that.
So
I feel like it
my
was a lot of trial and error, you know, in my first year of business too. Like, you know, oh my gosh. So growing in a different area, I think is a wonderful goal to have. You know, photography. So one of my goals is to come up with so I have this idea, right? And I always have ideas. One of my best friends, Cherie, hey Ray, one of my best friends is like, Heather, you always have these ideas, but you never like capitalize on them. And then I turn around and I'm like, that could have been yours because that's what you said.
Right.
Or it's stuff that I do just naturally that I could be capitalizing off of, but because I don't think that way, other than being a psychotherapist, she is the person that was like, yo, that idea that you just said is fabulous. You need to do it. So what I'm going to do is bring that idea into fruition, right?
Good.
And that's part of my goals. So talking about goals, when you have goals, something that I teach my clients, so every year, whoever, you know, my client base is, we do 2020 goals and action steps, right? So action steps are really important because we all make these goals in the beginning of the year, and by March, April, they're gone. We forget about them because we're not doing actions to go with them. So when I say action steps.
Okay, so thank you for throwing it over to me. I am a very good action step person because I'm very visual. So when I plan things, I actually put it on a whiteboard. But for me, what I need to express to everyone is how imperative, how important it is to really see what needs to be done.
Yes.
Just saying it or putting it in your phone, I don't know, that may work for some people. For me, seeing on a calendar, a yearly calendar, okay, this month is kind of filled, but these months don't really have anything going on, and I need to be productive 12 months of the year. So you need to really be cognizant of your scheduling. And when you make these action steps, you don't just want to write a to-do list. Right? How many times have you wrote a to-do list and then you mark off 2 things and then you find yourself making a whole new list? So you write this list and you give yourself a time frame. You give yourself a maturation date. And I think this really helps kind of get you to that next step. So I need to have this done by March 1st. I need to have this done by June 1. You know what I mean? So that way, or Q1, I want this done. It absolutely has to be done the first quarter. That's going to really push you to, you know, get to your goals.
Yep. Action steps. So, you know, we could relate this to what we're doing. Like, so if you want to create a podcast for your company, right? You could say your goal is create a podcast, right? But that's so broad. Like, what are your action steps to create a podcast?
Right. What are you going to do to make that happen?
So 1, 2, 3. It's going to be more than 1, 2, 3, but I'm giving an example of 1, 2, 3 could be number 1, create your plan. Create your podcast plan. Okay, that means the days of the week you want to do it, how many times. Number 2 is get the equipment from Amazon or whatever. Number 3 could be where you're going to do it, you know, like scope out places or get your intro and outro together, you know, stuff like that. So
which we're still pulling together.
Yeah, you would need a whole, I'm sorry, I got to check this.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this is our guest actually.
So while Heather is checking, so we can let the guest in because we don't want to leave her outside. Here yet.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Back to what we were saying. Basically, creating a plan. I think the most important thing in what you said was the first step, having a plan. So many people really just go out and they're like, I'm going to open a business.
Yes, girl.
And now they're selling t-shirts.
I'm gonna give me an LLC. I'm gonna open me up a business.
They're gonna open a business and they're selling t-shirts the next day, and that's great. That's really great. I mean, you made that step. Yes. But guess what? A month down the line, you're selling shirts, and you're like, damn. What's the next thing I'm gonna do? Or
but where's the money go?
Or how am I gonna pay the bills?
Exactly.
Or how am I gonna pay myself?
Yes, girl, pay yourself.
You know, which is also number 2 thing that you need to focus on when you are an entrepreneur and you're gonna maybe be a solopreneur full time. Okay, you're running this business and you think you're making so much money, right? But guess what?
What?
3 things gotta happen with that money.
Speak on it.
Okay, you gotta pay Uncle Sam, and you cannot run from Uncle Sam.
You cannot.
Uncle Sam want his money like clockwork. So that's 34% right there.
Taxes, right now.
Out the door, okay?
Right. How are you keeping track of all of that? Or do you have an Excel sheet, accounting system? Did you pay and put something on your computer so you can, are you sitting down every week and putting those numbers in? Like, that's part of your action steps.
And how are you keeping track of this? Like, just putting it on your computer, you have to understand that every single dime that you make needs to be accounted for. So that's 34% of your budget right now. So you got 66% left to run your business. What else has to happen? Oh shit! You gotta pay the lights. You gotta pay the water. You gotta pay the rent.
And let's remember that if you are an entrepreneur with a business outside of your home, right? You have to pay your mortgage, rent, whatever it is where you live, or if you got roommates, you still got to pay your half, or however that goes. Then you have to pay for where your business is.
So now you got another 33% out the door.
Yep. So you need to have a system where you can keep track of this, and this is all part of when you say, I want to own my own business, what are all your action steps to go with it, right? So we're giving you some of them right now.
And all your action steps need to be inside of that very detailed plan that you're going to put together. And we are telling you this from experience. I mean, one year running Hodge Studios, 1 year running your company.
Studio for Sexual Health, Wellness, and Education Incorporated. So I went from an LLC to a nonprofit. You know, we're going to have an episode where we kind of talk about that. You know, the LLC, the nonprofit, you know, why I switched, that whole thing, and, you know, some of the work that goes into both. You know, because you still have your LLC tax that you have to pay. You still have to pay for your LLC every year. Right? So it's a lot that goes into your action steps and around that. So we definitely are going to have a lot of episodes this year when we kind of break down some things, put it on the whiteboard, show you, you know, action steps towards being an entrepreneur.
It's so important. And I'm happy that you turned in. I'm happy you tuned in.
Subscribe. Make sure you hit subscribe, people.
Yeah, so you can hear more of my
Yes.
blunders.
And mine too.
I'm so happy you
Okay.
tuned in to listen to everything. She's here?
She calling. So, but it's okay. You'll see who we're talking about in our episode coming
Yes.
up.
So, lastly, I just want to say that along with self-care and with, being a solopreneur or, someone who is starting out as an entrepreneur, you really need to stay focused on these things and understand what needs to go into running your business.
Yep.
Like Heather said, we're going to do more episodes. We'll talk more about it. But
We definitely will.
Until then,
thanks for tuning in. This is Win Philly.
2020.
Watch all our other episodes, people.
I am so hungry.
And then we have a great guest that we just had. Oh my gosh, our first episode. Or is this the first episode? I don't know. But anyway, they 2020, they're gonna be great. I am Sex Dr. Heather. Go subscribe to my channel.
I am Nakisha Hodge. Subscribe, like, and share.
Keep your 2020 goals in your 2020 vision.
Yes, honey. Keep your 2020 goals together. We love you. Thank you.